Hello everyone, I'm Chelsea. My group members, Thomas, Kerri-Ann, Che, and myself, will be presenting our analysis on the case Digital Divide Data. In our analysis, we covered a background of the company. We identified the key issues by conducting a problem analysis. We stated alternatives the company has in solving these issues. And finally, we chose the ideal alternative that we saw fit and provided recommendations that will help their process.
Thomas and I will be doing the introduction. For a brief background on Digital Divide Data, it is a company set up in Cambodia in 2001 by Canadian-born Jeremy Hockenstein, who had visited the country and saw the magnitude of poverty there. He decided to go back and evaluate what could be done to empower young individuals through education and skills. Digital Divide Data started out with a social mission to help economically disadvantaged youths earn competitive wages for themselves and families. The company's strategic goal was to increase the number of employees within the country to 1,500 and expand operations internationally. However, there was a challenge doing so due to issues they already had, such as environmental, HR, and financial issues. In terms of our analysis process, we utilized two methods in identifying the key issues in digital divide data. Firstly, we used the SWOT analysis to identify their strengths, weaknesses, opportunities, and threats. Secondly, we used the PEST analysis to identify political, economic, social, and technological factors affecting the company. For our alternatives, we used market entry strategies such as organic growth, social franchising, partnership, or joint venture. All of these strategies were learned from marketing courses, such as Principles of Marketing to name one. With the use of marketing strategies, digital divide data has many opportunities to grasp, such as creating social impact in poorer countries, creating employment for disabled and unprivileged youth, the potential for expansion, and having social impact that can attract donors.
I am here to do the problem analysis through the SWOT. So the first thing we did, we look at the strengths. The first strength was the location of the Namfeng office, which was located in a significantly developed area. Then we looked at the fact that Triple D offered thorough training curriculum, which involved English and everything that they actually wanted for a successful operator and manager. Then we looked at the fact that they partnered with CIST. In partnering with CIST, it meant that CIST took on some of the cost with them as it pertains to training the managers and operators for 3 to 6 months for permanent employment with Triple D. Then we looked at the fact that they are 2008 School Award recipient. This was for social entrepreneurship in Laos and Cambodia. Another thing we looked at is the fact that they well utilized the staff in Namfeng. They were like a well-oiled machine. And the last strength we looked at is the fact that they were learning new digitization processes from partnering with other outsourcing firms. So they kind of learn everything for free. Now we're looking at the weaknesses. One of them was the fact that Triple D couldn't sustain themselves financially without the US base. Then they had an inability to retain staff at the Namfeng office. This was due to the fact that it had a lot of competitors who offered better remuneration packages, so employees would leave. Then they had a lack of trained managers. Again, it will tie back into the better packages being offered. The Battambang office and the Laos office, because of the location in rural areas, it proved to be a weakness for Triple D. Then we look at the underutilization of staff at the Battambang office. They had more work than employees. We looked at the educational system in northern Cambodia, which would mean Laos and Battambang. It was significantly lower. The standard of learning was significantly lower than that of Namfeng. And the last weakness we looked at was the lack of standard operating procedures throughout all the offices. So things would be done differently in the Battambang office as well as the Laos office and the Namfeng office. Always one business. They never had standardized operating procedures, and they never documented none of the procedures as to say, well, how to deal with a situation. We're looking at the opportunities. Battambang office is the only IT operator in that region, so it meant that all the work from there would have come to the Battambang office. And then new potential customers because of the growing economy and globalization. Because of that, we looked at the fact that we're going to get more jobs at Triple D. The threats, we looked at the fact that the rapid economic growth contributed heavily to the shortage of experienced managers and workers on the whole. Increased competitors, which means that Triple D staffers would continuously be leaving, because if we have the competitors in the same business environment, all well-trained employees would cross over to them for better remuneration packages. The brain drain in the northern Cambodia area, namely in Battambang and Laos, would now mean that to even supply workers for both offices there was going to be a challenge, because everyone leaving to go to the city or better, more developed areas for jobs. Infrastructure and resources needed for expansion proved to be a threat in Triple D moving forward, and the ease of doing business rankings, because they ranked so low, it meant that they had to go through a lot of red tape to do business. Now we're on to the problem analysis through a PES. So we're looking at things from political aspect of things. Under Potpo's government, Cambodia was stricken with extreme poverty. The administration was totally against persons having an education and even an educated population, because this meant you would figure out all the schemes they were running behind closed doors. Then we looked at the economical aspect of things, where Cambodia is one of the poorest South Asia countries, with 1/3 of the population living on 50 cents a day. We looked at the social aspects of things, where Triple D, who played a massive role in impacting the society in a positive way through recruiting persons from a disadvantaged and more or less a forgotten sector of the society. And looked at things from a technological aspect, which meant that Triple D was met with a society which was eager to take advantage of the technological training initiative they offered.
So we are the market risks. So language and culture barriers, as the company has to recruit these people and teach them English. The culture barriers, they have to know the laws of the land, they have to know how the culture is to fit the organization within that culture. So they have to apply by those rules of the country. To the global crisis, they want to go to 1500, but there is a big risk at the time, because there was a global risk affecting everybody. That was like the biggest depression since 1912. So for expansion, they had to get to deal with that. There's a big risk at itself. And 3, expansion. So with the big risk with expansion, because they want a partner, and that was a threat to the selling points of it could be a threat to the selling points that appeal to US based clients, because how DDD was operated by itself as a independent enterprise. So here we start with the key issues: human resource management challenges. Basically, there's like the managers, they couldn't get managers to be replaced after they left, because due to the fact that they were going to other IT companies for better money, and that's one of the big problems. And staff wasn't being used properly in the locations overall with operating procedures through all the branches. Financial constraints, they have to rely on sponsorships and all these things to get money. Poor funding on the whole. They had to rely on overbearing expenses by the Battambang. They was wasting money in that location. They had to rely on an external company to help with training, so that's why they split the costs. Environmental factors. The location in DDD was very, very poor. Roads wasn't accessible when it was before the rainy season and after, and weather condition. That's why the weather conditions affected. That's why staff was reluctant to go back there, and they basically had a poor infrastructure on the whole at that office.
After identifying the key issues, we moved on to determining the alternatives for digital divide data in an effort to solve the previously mentioned key issues. To do this, we sorted each alternative using a pros and cons list. The first of the 4 identified alternatives was organic growth, and there you can see that they had some benefits, such as they can implement the strategy immediately, they would be able to skip the vetting and negotiating process with partners, and also they would have complete control of the strategy and the new offices. However, on the other hand, it will severely strain their managerial resources, and they will need a substantial amount of capital upfront. Second alternative was partnership or joint venture with a local entrepreneur. This model would allow them access to partnering with an entrepreneur that understands the local business laws and regulation, which could speed up the expansion process. Additionally, they had an entrepreneur that they already partnered with in India, so they had that option to revisit. This process, however, would be a lengthy one. It will require quite a lot of change for DDD and the local company, and when it comes to resolving the issues, the economy's weak legal system does not provide a smooth process for such. Third alternative was social franchising. This model would have made them attractive to donors, and not only would the franchisee assist DDD in attaining some of their goals, DDD will also assist the franchisee in establishing their business and providing long-standing support. However, the drawbacks consisted of a lengthy process. Once again, it would require a lot of work in the beginning. They had concerns about how they would manage competition and also work allocation, the challenges that comes with that being in a social franchising network. The fourth and final alternative was partnership with an international organization. Now, DDD had 2 options here. The first being they were already approached with a partner having a large international organization, and they were interested in incorporating DDD's model to their other countries that they were doing business with. They were willing to provide the capital and the human resources and expedite expansion. They were also giving DDD access to a new office with revenue sources, and it would be all executed without pressure on DDD's sales. The second opportunity was to form a social enterprise subsidiary with a large international IT outsourcing firm. Since the partner would already be knowledgeable in the firm, and also DDD can be easily incorporated into the firm's operations and sales force, and DDD can learn best practices from such. The drawbacks to this was changing DDD's identity as an independent social enterprise. This would threaten their US-based corporate clients, and again, the uncertainty of division of sales.
After comparing and reviewing all the alternatives, we decided that the best alternative is to form a partnership with an international organization. We chose this because it offers the most benefits to the company compared to other alternatives, which will also solve all of their key issues. They have already been approached by an international firm to form a partnership, and if Digital Divide Data wishes to expand internationally, the most logical option is to partner with them. In terms of how successful a partnership can be, there is evidence to prove that. According to an article, many pharmaceutical companies were asked if international partnerships were important to their success. Many said that they are. For example, Recipharm, a company in Sweden, relied on it. According to their vice president of manufacturing, they partnered with companies who supplied them with the machine equipment and software to expand their projects globally. Similarly, Digital Divide Data can use the resources supplied by their partner and also expand globally.
Our recommendations to DDD would be that they should accept the offer to partner with a large international firm that approached them, because this firm is willing to help them achieve their organizational goals as well as to resolve some of their organizational challenges. In addition to that, we believe that they should provide trainees with a contractual agreement that will require them to work for a period of 2 years after their training at the DDD. They should also provide specific responsibilities for each employer. When providing employment, they should employ the Vroom's expectancy theory. Also, to reduce dependence on the US team, they can train employers to fill specific and necessary roles at each branch, and for continued operations in low-performing branches, request that they each gain a specific number of clients quarterly in order to continue operating. In closing, these are our references, and thank you so much.